consumers, we will go on and look at the way in which consumers actually start to digest what they eat. For that, we will need to get into a system which is known as the digestive system. The digestive system is so fundamental that it is basically step number 1 in the guide to how to make an animal. You probably remember that during the embryonic development of most animals, the digestive tract is the very first thing that forms. When the blastula, the lump of cells that we were all, turns to be a lump of cells with a tube running through it. The tube is your digestive system, and pretty much every animal has a digestive system of some kind. But not all alike, but far from it. In fact, the digestive tract is specially adapted to animals' feeding behavior and diet. For instance, a housefly eats mostly liquid or finely granulated food. But before it does that, it has got to puke its digestive juices all over its lunch and then let them digest it for a while before it sucks it up into its mouth. If we actually did that, it would not only be less common, but it would actually be disgusting. If you're talking about vertebrates, they ingest food through one end of the tube and the digestive system processes it and gets rid of the waste through the other end of the tube. No muss, no fuss. Well, actually, there is a little bit of a muss towards the end that you might have noticed. The beauty of it is the whole process is run by our autonomous nervous system, so we don't even have to think about it until the very last step, if you know what I actually mean. Among the vertebrates, the digestive tract may be short or long or have organs that do different things. This depends on what the feeding habits of the organism is. For instance, dogs are mostly carnivores and they are also scavengers and mostly eat meat which has been dead for a while. So, the dog's digestive system has been developed to take in all the food, process it, absorb as many nutrients as possible and deposit the waste in somebody's lawn all in a period of 6 hours. Hence, a dog has a very short digestive tract. Because if you are in the process of eating dead meat, then you better be able to digest it really fast. If you don't, then the bad bacteria that are living on those carcasses are going to take residence in your gut, and that is going to put you in a world of pain. Cows, on the other hand, take a very long time to digest their food, close to 80 hours, because they have to process plants, mostly grass. Grass has a ton of cellulose in it, and evolution has yet to produce an animal or an organism that can actually manufacture a stomach acid or an enzyme tough enough to break down cellulose. So cows have friendly microorganism in their gut that helps them break down the cellulose for them. This process takes a 4-chambered stomach, each one with a different microecology and a lot of cud chewing or regurgitating and rechewing of grass till it passes all the way through. My friends, the world is full of crazy digestion stories and I honestly wish I had all the time to share them with you. But before we do that, let's actually try focusing on the human digestive system from now on. Probably because you are a human and I'm actually not assuming anything here. And you will also want to know about how your body does all this stuff. And 2, humans actually have a pretty good all-purpose digestive system. We are omnivores, right? So we eat both plants and meat, and our system is more generalized to handle all kinds of stuff. Like most other animals, humans have a bunch of acids and enzymes in our digestive tract that break down food so that it can easily be absorbed and used by our body. The food that we eat supplies the raw materials for growth and repair, as well as the energy that is required to make all our cells work. Without it, they would shut down and we would all die. Yet, most part of the mouth-watering and nourishing food that passes our lips are at that instant quite useless as far as the body is concerned. The simple substances it needs remained locked inside the sandwiches, steaks, strawberries and sushi until the digestive system goes to work and its disassembly line, it breaks down complex foods to release usable nutrients. For most of us, what happens to the food inside the body once a meal has been consumed is something of a mystery. But as with so many aspects of the human body, this is a journey well worth taking. Why should food have all the fun? We will also get into it and explore how exactly the food is getting digested. Now let's imagine What's for dinner tonight? It's baked vegetables with butter, kaju masala with butter roti, steamed rice and biryani, chocolate ice cream, or even vanilla ice cream with gulab jamun. But it could have also actually been fried tofu with noodles, a pepperoni pizza, chicken curry with rice, or a cheese omelette with french fries and salad. The choices and combinations are endless, and that's very, very important. It's the colors, shapes, aromas, tastes, and memory of different food that tempts us to the table, ensuring that our bodies get the nutrients that are essential for life. Nutrients are substances in food that maintain the body and make it work. Most of what we eat is made up of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Nutrients needed in smaller amounts but still are vital are vitamins and minerals. By supplying some protein, carbohydrate, fat, and certain vitamins and minerals, the super meal provides many of our nutrient needs, but not all of them. Our diet should comprise of a mix of food that supplies all necessary nutrients in the right amounts. Complex carbohydrates, particularly starch, are found in foods such as pasta, bread, rice, potatoes, and cereals. During digestion, starch is broken down into simpler sugars like glucose, the body's main source of energy. Some of the food that we eat contain fiber. This is a collection of stringy, indigestible substances that is found in plant foods such as broccoli, beans, and bananas. It stretches the intestinal muscles, making them more efficient, so they push the unwanted waste out of the body even more quickly. Whereas vitamins and minerals are only needed in tiny amounts. Vitamins and minerals are nonetheless essential for growth and good health. Most vitamins comes from fresh fruits and vegetables, and some are also found in fish, meat, dairy, and eggs. Minerals such as calcium and iron also help the body in performing optimally. The best source of vegetables, dairy, meat, and some fish. But the ice cream that you consumed or the gulab jamun has fat in them. Fat is digested into fatty acids which are used as an energy source and to make all cell membranes. Or they are rebuilt into fats under the skin and insulates the body and helps us to keep warm. Dairy foods, meat, seeds and nuts are all supply of fats, as do vegetable oils. Finally, to do all the body building that you need, proteins are required. Rich sources of proteins are fish, lean meat, poultry, and beans. Once digested, proteins supply the body with amino acids. These building blocks are reassembled by cells into different proteins used for construction. They are also used for making enzymes and hormones which control a myriad of other activities in the body. More than 50% of our body is actually made up of water. It provides the liquid medium in which substances dissolve and react inside the cells. Not to mention the basic of our internal transport system, the blood and the lymph. Water comes not just from the drinks, but also from all the food that we eat. Now that we have gone through the constituents of food, but the first thing is the aroma of the stuff that you eat. It may be no match for a bloodhound, but our sense of smell can still distinguish some 10,000 different odors. Smelling begins in the nasal cavity, the space behind the nose that is a split into two halves. In the upper reaches of each half, a thumbnail-sized patch of specialized epithelium is home to millions of smell receptor cells. Each is tipped with a bunch of hair-like cilia, the house of odor receptors. Once inhaled, odor molecules dissolve in watery mucus and bind to the receptors on the cilia. The smell receptors sends a signal to the smell center of the brain where the odor is identified. The cilia of each receptor cell carries just one type of receptor, but the receptor can respond to several different odor molecules. What's more, different parts of each odor molecule bind to different receptors. Having received information from a range of receptors, the brain pieces it all together to identify a particular smell. This may, for example, warn us that something is burning or reassure us that it's just cooking. Messages are sent back to the brain's emotional and memory center. That's why certain smells evoke a certain feeling or recall special memories.